Coming up next on All About Android, it's me, Jason Howell. We got Florence Ion and Ron Richards, just the three of us talking all about Android 12 Beta 2. Actually, a pretty comprehensive first look at the new beta. Also, I learned a little bit about Emoji Kitchen. It made me feel a little old in the process. Google Chat is out for everyone now, actually free, and you can start using it today. What's actually happening to augmented reality on Android? Is spatial audio on smartphones a gimmick? Your email and a whole lot more coming up next on All About Android.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
No ads, just the content. That's what you get when you join Club Twit. You even get extras like Twit Plus, our new bonus feed just for members, and exclusive access to the Club Twit Discord community. Join now for just $7 a month and support Twit as we continue to create top-notch podcasts you expect and deserve. We're just getting started, so be one of the first to join as we build Club Twit from the ground up. You could be an early member. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit to learn more and sign up now. Thanks.
Hello and welcome to All About Android, episode 529, recorded on Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. Your weekly source for latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Ron Richards.
And I'm Florence Ion.
Ion!
She finally reveals how really we're supposed to pronounce her last name. So
I don't know.
There it is.
I don't know, guys. All I know is I'm tired and I feel like I need to be silly to stay awake. So that's the vibe we're going for today, all right?
Before we get into that or go too deep, Jason, you mentioned the Android faithful. And I just want to, there was a great Twitter conversation about all the potential merch that could happen related to the All About Android show. Yeah, and I feel like the Android faithful t-shirt was the one that's been staring us in the face for years that we just never really realized. So
it's part of the tagline. Yeah.
How did we miss that one? That's like the tagline since day one.
Because it's in the tagline. Yep. It just sort of.
I like how you guys asked everybody, and didn't tell me, because my vote would have been for Tiny Hands.
Tiny Hands.
Yeah.
That's so niche,
you know what?
Burke.
Yeah. We're gonna sell like 5 of those shirts, Burke.
Maybe I am the world's worst business person.
Not for like closet, small fans.
Okay.
But thank you for being so diehard.
Point taken.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just realized how ungrateful that sounded, and I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to make that sound.
No, it was right on, actually.
But I just want to remind us that we're here to make money primarily. That's.
Wow, we are failing. If I put a link to the chat room, to the Twitter post that I put up there next to our names in the doc, Burke. And if you pull that up, you'll see we've got a few ideas. Friend of the show, which we've talked about before. Support your devs. Holy cow, which I don't know, Ron, if you appreciated my animated GIF handiwork.
Holy cow!
But I created an animated GIF for you. And I really hoped that the internet would take that animated GIF and make it mainstream. Hasn't happened yet, but maybe it will.
It was well done.
Be a meme someday.
Yep.
Ron, I hope somebody makes you as that person into a video game character.
Oh, hey, that's happened.
Wait, really?
That's part of the annals of All About Android is we've had a video game made after us.
We did?
Gosh, and of course it's in the other doc, so I can't find it at the drop of a hat.
It's in one of the old docs.
All About Android game. I'm gonna have a hard time finding this on the
searching
fly.
Android game is really not good thing to type into Google.
No, it's okay. This is a fool's errand. It's just not going to happen. But yes, this was. When was this, Ron? It was probably like 2013 that fan of the show created an endless runner based on the show, and it had Ron as a playable character. It had me. It had Gina. I can't remember if Eileen was in there. This was pre-Flow. Otherwise, Flow, I'm sure you would be in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain it was pre-Flow. You'd probably know of it if it wasn't.
I'm sure somebody watching in the chat or Discord will find it for us and tell us in the middle of the show, and we'll revisit it. But I have no memory of that whatsoever. So
I do.
Wait a minute. You have no memory of this? Are you serious?
None. Zero. Listen, Jason, I don't know. I know you said it at the top of the show, but I don't know if you realize we've done 529 of these things.
Well, now
I can't remember them all.
Now I have to find it just to prove that I'm not going crazy, because it's the truth. It's a thing. All right. Well, okay. I will make it my mission to find it, find at least a link to prove it, just so that y'all know I'm not going nuts. And we will circle back around to this. I'll do it in my off time, which is basically never while we're doing a show, but we'll see what we can do. Real quick before we get into the news, I just want to do like a passing mention on my table of things. I do have here the Pixel Buds A series, and I will be doing a full review of these on Hands on Tech next week. They actually start shipping, I think, in 2 days. But yeah, Pixel Buds A series. I've been using them over the weekend and everything, and so far, like, I feel like it's kind of a slam dunk as far as like you get most of the features of the original Pixel Buds. They connect better and don't do the annoying dropouts thing, and they sound just as good. Like everything about the sound and the fit is the same. So if you like that from the originals, might as well spend $99 instead of way more than that for the Pixel Buds A series. That's my abbreviated review, but I'm going to have more of that on Hands on Tech coming up. Are either of you interested in the A series? $99 for the in-ears?
Nope. You lost me at in-ear.
Yeah,
okay.
I figured you wouldn't be interested.
I know Ron is not a fan of the in-ear, but I am, and I know that my Galaxy Buds lived through the great wash of 2021, but I'm kind of looking at those new Sonys they just announced.
Oh, what are those?
You know how Sony's naming convention is terrible and it's just a serial number, but
they're true wireless,
just like everything else they make.
Yeah, but one of my colleagues reviewed it, I think last week was when they debuted, and they're basically the in-ear equivalent of the cans that are so popular right now. And I just love their noise cancellation is just really good. It's really good at blocking out. I mean, I can't even hear people banging on the door. So,
and let me tell you, people are
issue,
banging on those doors.
No, I don't. Well, when I'm working, I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I totally. I'm joking because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, the kids' play area is on the other side of my office wall. So, you know, if she's having a loud day, I'm very distracted by it. So,
yeah.
But those are also really expensive. So the Pixel A is a different product category. And remember, I brought on those Akis a couple of months back. They're so uncomfortable. Like, I've realized now just how uncomfortable they are. And, you know, I like the idea of a comfortable pair of earbuds for $100. So you'll have to tell me how that comfort is.
I mean, the comfort, I can tell you right now, the comfort is the same. If the the last generation Pixel Buds were comfortable in your ears, these are going to be too. They're actually a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter, so they might even be more comfortable.
That's nice.
I always liked the fit of the original or of the last generation, and I do with these as well. So I will let you know. But before we get into the news, part B, Burke, can you cue up some breaking news? Because I think it's about time we bust some breaking news in this piece. Let's do it. Let's break some news. Yeah.
Oh, right, What happened?
Credit where credit is due. The person we so lovingly refer to as user 2856 in the chat room. Give yourself a nickname, then we can refer to you, sir or ma'am. Posted a link to an Amazon page because apparently this app, yes, developer Matthew Holtzum. There we go. That's his name. Matthew Holtzum, very long ago, created All About Android, the game. And I put a link that was shared in chat into the doc. You can see it, Burke, at the top there next to our names. And the screenshots, and I wish there was gameplay footage. But yes, we were
no memory of this whatsoever.
Are you serious? I guess it's been a lot of episodes. I understand.
I might not have been on the episode that we talked about it. Like, I don't.
We've talked about it multiple times. We've talked about it multiple times because there were updates, and you could get Google Glass.
I remember briefly you guys brought it on after I was hired on, and I remember feeling like, oh man, I wish I was in a game, but you know.
Oh, so now I'm like, play.store. Yeah. Anyways, so there it exists. Thank you, user 2856. Appreciate your backup there. Matthew Holtzum is the director or the developer. Thank you for creating a game and allowing us to say, hey, we have a game that's named after us. It's pretty awesome stuff. And Matthew, by the way, if you still listen to the show and are still developing, you could always update it and add Flo in there. And then her wish would be great.
No, I just peeped his Twitter. He looks like he's been busy. You don't.
Oh,
he's moved on.
Well, he hasn't tweeted since 2019, so I'm assuming there's a lot going on in his life.
By the way, he released a trailer and a whole bunch of gameplay videos. Matthew Holtzum in 2013 really had a lot of time on his hands.
He was a fan.
Burke, I put it in the Slack.
He was probably working on some game dev suite and was learning the app, and this is what he used to learn the app. So,
well, check it out. Okay, so check it out. Episode 134 is when we were first given the insight on this. It was me, Ron, and Gina. Guest was Cameron Summerson. There it is. This was November 5th, 2013. When he sent this in initially. You could choose your host.
That's amazing.
Ron, that's clearly your hair.
This is great, Matthew. I mean, you know what? 8 years later, this holds up, my friend. And you're shooting all different versions of Android, like there's Donut and Cupcake.
Yep.
Right? Oh, jeez.
Yep. With Google Glass, it's like your laser, and then you've got bosses. Who is the boss? What is the boss? I didn't see it. Oh, there you go. Oh, isn't it great?
I love really
did he just say holy cow?
I did that.
Oh, okay. Project Loon,
which has been killed.
Yeah, I mean, this game is full of killed by Google references.
Oh, it's not in the Google Play Store yet.
At that point, anymore. He was still working on it. He said, I've recently been working on a little game that pays homage to this awesome podcast, 2D Endless Runner. But what makes it awesome is that it features the hosts of All About Android and has awesome Android-themed power-ups. Here's a video. Keep in mind, it's a work in progress. And then he sent it to us, you know, and we talked about it when it was officially released. And then he mentioned there was an update. And then I think it just it went dark. But
there's more.
Oh,
there you go. There is.
There is?
What is this?
This is the alpha gameplay video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is before the trailer, Burke. This is older.
This was like a little teaser.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Oh, that's so great.
It's fun times. Those of you listening to the show, we're looking at the videos of the gameplay of this Endless Runner.
We're kind of remembering.
Yeah.
We're just I mean, listen, I've never made a game, all right? I made websites back in the day. I've written a lot of stuff, but I've never made a game. So to me, it's amazing. Anybody who has the patience to do that. So thank you.
Totally. All right, cool. Thanks to everyone in chat. Cousin of Ja, posted to the wiki link and everything. Everybody, you followed through. We knew when we put it out there, you would come up with something, and you did. So thank you for that. Sorry for those of you who got totally bored over the last 5 minutes, but hey, sometimes it's fun for us to revisit our history, and you're along for the ride.
Please turn us back on. Thank you.
And now, Burke, it is time for the news.
Well, you totally ruined my seg because I was going to say I can't vouch for your sanity, but I can vouch for the game that existed, and here's Android news.
There we go. Okay, that works. It's almost as if you planned all of that. It's almost as if this entire show is scripted, but it's not. So in true Google fashion, last week, the day after our episode published, Android 12 Beta 2 was released. And this is actually kind of a considerable beta release. And we can talk all about it. One of the prime reasons for it being considerable is the fact that Material You is in full effect. Well, not full effect, actually. I should wheel that
not
back.
Full effect.
It's in some effect.
Yeah.
Material almost you.
Yeah, Material You WIP, work in progress.
it better be a work in progress because Flo is not impressed.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. All right, hold your not impressed face.
I am.
The twitching of the mouth to the side. How does it go? Something like, no. Flo is not impressed.
All right,
yes, there we go.
What thinking face emoji?
Right. Okay. So right at the top of the features is, of course, Material You tied into wallpaper. So as you can see, I've got this like kind of a light blue wallpaper, and it's automatically themed the quick settings. And I'm sure you saw my lock screen had some theming there too. If I go in here, I can do wallpaper style. Let's see here. I'm going to do Living Universe and pick something different. So let's pick that one. It's a different hue. And I have had moments where I do this and it doesn't change things, but it does look like it changed things. What's weird, though, is that it doesn't always change. Like I don't know where in this image it came up with that like very different kind of purpley color. Not that it looks bad. It's just it doesn't look inspired by this image. I don't know. Maybe up there a little bit. I don't know.
What are your color settings on your phone set to? Are these accurate?
I don't know that it's that because, like when I go here, for example, right, I do the blue one that I had before. It like nails it. It's like, oh, yeah, see, now it's not even working. All right, it's beta. Well, there you go. That explains that.
Yeah, it's beta.
So, yeah, it is. In a perfect world, that would tie to it. If I restarted, I think it would kind of lock into place. You don't have any apps for the most part kind of syncing to that color palette the way we're expecting, the way they showed off at Google I/O. You also don't have the ability to manually tweak the color settings. It's kind of like it grabs the color that it thinks matches, which in this case is totally wrong. And then it syncs it. And I'm sure in a future version, we'll have the ability to do that. So let's start there, Flo. Is your disappointment in the Material You color palette thingy?
Yeah, I think what we were presented with all of the rendered images that came out when we were first introduced to this concept of Material You, I'm not seeing that. What I'm seeing are some bones of that and what may come to be. So I'm going to be patient. We've got 2 more betas after this to sink into. But what I have right now is, like, as you just mentioned, the color picking feature, it's still a little bit off. And granted, I think you can go in and tweak it. I haven't tried to do any of that yet. But what it did automatically, I was not satisfied with. It was a hue that was in a part of the picture that was such a small part of the picture that it made no, I wouldn't have naturally gravitated towards that. So I'm curious how the algorithm picked that out on its own. Like what made that particular part of the wallpaper that I chose. I forgot to link. I actually ended up posting last week to Twitter a screenshot of what the color it was that it picked out for me. And it was a significantly light blue on a picture that if you can see, let's see if this there you go. It picked out the light blue that if you're watching the video feed, you'll see the arcade cabinet. There's a blue. That's the blue that it ended up picking out. And it's just this light color that just doesn't match.
Yeah, it's not 100%. I have noticed in my playing around with it that I would get stuck in the loop that I'm kind of stuck in right now, where most of the time it doesn't end up changing the theme based on the wallpaper. And then I do the thing, where I like restart the phone and it catches it. This time it changed it. So it's almost like 50-50, right? That worked, yeah.
But then then let's go to the widgets menu. Okay. So sorry, Jason, I'm going to walk you through a demo. Go to the widgets menu. In the first
widgets or
tap
wallpaper?
on widgets. And yeah, as you can see, it's all shelved, but none of the widgets are the ones that we've been promised with this like dynamic change. The only thing that is significant is that you'll get a rounded corner by default now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, beta 2. I'm sure that these like drastically, modified widgets are on the horizon. Prior to this, we had no theming whatsoever tied to wallpaper, and now we have it a little bit. So yeah, totally baby steps. I would love to have more stuff in the widgets. I'd show off the conversation widget, except I don't want to show you my messages, so I'm going to not do that. But that wasn't here last version, if I remember correctly, in the beta 1. So they're adding over time. That's kind of what the beta is all about.
I was hoping they would add at least the clock widget so we could see, what that clock is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to, if you go to the clock widget right now, it's just analog and digital. Ooh, that's a bug. You can't even see the clock on that white background when you were hovering over it.
Pretty difficult to see.
Switch to digital.
So, what's that?
The digital
clock.
Was that?
What about the digital clock?
Maybe it will work.
Are you a fan? Maybe we'll go ahead and find the digital clock and do it. And, it's just, it's basically what we're expecting. For those who are having a hard time remembering, or maybe you didn't see the tease, it's almost like these like cardboard cutout widgets. They're very 3-dimensional. They're very kind of like it's almost like it seems. Well, very material, right? It feels like it's a piece of paper kind of placed on the top of the background. That's the only way that I can really know to describe it. Instead of it being this like transparent kind of like seamless thing. I don't know if that's just going to be the look of all widgets when that happens or what, but we're certainly not there right now. I'll be curious to see when that happens. Yes.
Let's look at the privacy features.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, the real sexy stuff, the privacy features.
Let's do that.
Well, it is sexy, right? Privacy. That's why there are a lot of Columbo episodes around scorned lovers. So,
yep.
So literally, it's kind of sexy. Okay, so quick settings is where you're going to find a lot of this stuff, or at least some of the stuff that I find interesting. Camera access and mic access. These are two buttons that didn't used to exist, and this is a system level shutoff. So if you're super paranoid, you're like, I don't want any app on my phone to have access to the camera or the mic, you can turn it off here, and that feed is not going to pass through the apps. It's blocked, as it says. So that's nice. Also have, if I go into my settings, into privacy and privacy dashboard, this is a new area that does illuminate how often location, camera, and microphone as three very important and revealing permissions, how often they're being used. And this is obviously, it's a little graph that shows you, that my location settings have been hit far more than my camera and my microphone. But now I can go into camera and I can see a timeline today of the apps that have accessed my camera. So I suppose you could go in here at the end of the day and realize, oh, hey, I never, launched, Messages. I don't use Messages. I use another app. Why does Messages suddenly have my camera? Why did Messages suddenly grab my camera at 12:02? That's weird. That might be one use of this. Over the past 24 hours, it gives you that kind of like vertical list of how your location is being used. Citizen, obviously, using it a lot. Maps, of course. I did a lot of driving today. So that's neat. Am I missing something else that's privacy focused?
Yes. Do you want to show the audience the little light that comes on when you turn on the camera?
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, and that's actually really cool. So, okay, I will show you.
Sorry, I'm like guiding you through this, but
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so
I'm producing now. No, I'm kidding.
first of all, let me make sure that I don't have them turned off. Okay, so the mic and the camera are turned on. They're active. If I go into the camera, for example, you're going to see now up in the top right-hand corner is a little video camera icon that it does shrink down to a little green dot. I don't know. I guess if you know that it's there, you'll see it, but it is kind of small to my eyes right now. If I'm recording, I should see both a microphone and a video camera. So I'm actively recording, and it's saying, yes, these two things are being used right now. So it gives you that on-screen kind of readout as far as what's being used at any given moment.
All right. So let's see. What else have we got? We've got the gestures. Does that work on your Pixel 5? You're on the Pixel 4a, actually.
I'm on the 4XL, so I don't have the ability to use the double tap on the back, but apparently that's a thing.
Well, I should have it. Let's see. How am I supposed to turn it on?
Oh, that's a really great question.
That is a great question.
I don't know.
All right,
maybe
I'm going to go into the settings and try to turn
go into the settings and do a search for quick tap, and you'll probably find it. And the idea of this setting, of course,
I found it. I'm going to turn it on.
Is that if you have this on, you can double tap your finger on the back of the Pixel phone, and it will launch an action that you determine.
Let's do this very badly placed demo on the webcam. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. There it goes. It was supposed to bring up the assistant.
Yeah, it did.
Nope.
It did. Down
Stop
at the bottom.
listening to me. Okay.
Good work. Good work.
Just did the Lord's work.
Excellent. One thing that I'm not too fond of, I wonder how you feel about this, Flo, is, I think we talked about it earlier, is that Wallet is now moved into quick settings. And
I got to tell you,
with that.
This is,
I don't mind
this is not going to make me happy. So this morning, Tuesday mornings are like I got to go get coffee beans. And so by now I need to get gas in the car. So I went and I got gas this morning. What I love to do is, because my Chevron now, it has all the NFC payments, I just use my phone to get out a little cradle in the car, hold down the power button, tap it, throw it back in the car. It's just like this seamless experience. I understand that moving it to the quick settings is supposed to, I guess, the idea being your phone's already unlocked. You're just going to swipe down and turn it on. But I'm thinking about this. I don't know. It's why take away the power menu after you spent 2 versions getting us acclimated to it?
Yeah, because change, I guess. Because, they did this not only with, I'll show that, right? If I hold down the power button, this is the new power menu. It's a simplified power menu.
That's like everything's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone. All you have are your emergency features, your lockdown, power, restart. It's literally, again, just a power menu with the emergency feature built into it. If you want to do any changes to your Google Wallet setup, Wallet's still going to work without going in here. If you're on your main screen and you hold this up to a reader, if you have Wallet set up, it's still going to catch it. You don't have to go into that quick setting in order to do it. That's, I feel like, the less offensive one. The one that really gets me is the device control. In order for me to control all my smart home devices, on an older version, all I had to do was hold down the power button, and boom, I had all the controls there, and I could go right into it. Now I have to unlock my phone, pull down, maybe I'll save myself a step by 2-finger pulling down, tap into device controls, and now I have access. It's like 4 to 5 steps to do what took me 1 step before, and I hate it when that happens.
It's so tedious.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason, for interrupting.
That's a bummer. No.
Yeah.
I got to say that it was a bummer. That's what I wanted to do.
Because it's already so tedious to do smart home stuff. Right now, I'm just like using the Google Home app on the launcher, which is ridiculous. I should use the power menu. But as it stands, putting it into the quick settings, that's why I stopped using those apps that would let you put like a shortcut in the quick settings of your own, because I realized this is way too much work. There's got to be a better way. And I would love it if we could just make a widget.
I don't want a widget. I want what was there, which is the power menu thing. That works for me.
Well, it's just at least if you're gonna give me the option to hide it in the quick settings, give me the option to make it a widget. That's how I'm feeling about that.
Ron, what do you think? And you aren't running the Android 12 Beta 2, but you're seeing our stuff with it. What do you think?
Yeah, for these reasons alone, like I don't install the betas because my phone is my daily driver. I'm also doing app testing and stuff like that, so I need it to be in a secure, kind of like a predictable environment. But it's tough because it's the challenge. Because Jason, I feel like you and Flo will get acclimated to this before it drops through the wide release, where I'm gonna have this kind of like ramp up when it does come out. But like it's tough because here's a clear case where you want access to what was there and now it's gone and it's not coming back, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, these are changes we're gonna have to come to terms with.
Yeah, I mean, but that's been life as an Android user, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Do you trust the maker? That's the question. Like, do you trust the team? All the friends of the show that we've interviewed over the years, all the great folks that we know, Dave and everybody, like all those folks, they have a vision, and this is the culmination of that vision. And the question is whether or not we trust them and trust that they're making good decisions for the better of all the users, right?
It's a religious decision. Do you trust your maker?
Yep.
Your maker is Google. Do you trust them? I have gone one step further and gone to the issue tracker on Google under a topic there that is all about the device control being missing from the power menu. I have done my part. I have started and said, hey, I don't like the new version as much as I like the old version. It's probably not going to make a lick of difference, but I've done what I can, and now it's out of my hands.
Stop the presses. Jason Howell said he does not like what we did to the power menu. We need to go back to square one.
Well, here's the thing. Like, do I want to revert? Like, I kind of don't want to do that either.
But here's the thing, though. This is the beta. This isn't the final release. Maybe the next version they do revert. I mean, we've seen that happen.
They've done that.
Right?
They've done it. So. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'd be surprised, though. It really looks like they're trying to simplify the power menu. And I can understand the thinking of putting it into the quick settings, but it's just not nearly as convenient as it was. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're running beta software. Like, really, if this beta track did not exist, we would know nothing about any of these iterations. It would just be, here's a release, and all of these decisions and all of these machinations happen behind the scenes to get here, but you never knew about any of it because we did it all internally. And now they're making that a public experience. So of course there's going to be bumps in the road. It's just the way it goes.
What experience do you prefer? Do you prefer the completely dialed in, aware, going through every step of the way, or the ignorance is bliss? Oh, I've got a new version I need to deal with. What is better? I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't even know. I don't even know what the ignorance is bliss approach is, because as long as there's been betas, I've been hopping on it primarily, because like I do this show and I feel like I need to know these things to be able to talk about them. So it's all, it's the same question as like, what does it feel like to have the same phone for 3 years and to use it and make it your phone? I have no idea, because I haven't done that since I started doing these shows, or at least until, since years ago, when I'm always getting new review devices. So it keeps me from doing that. And sometimes I'm like, I kind of want that because it's simpler. But I don't know how you feel about that, Flo, because you live that life too.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I have, I'm very privileged that I have different phones to play with, so I can just.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one phone here that's looking at this, and one phone here it's looking at this, and it's for the same reason. It's all for the lab testing of it all. It's all for the experience of it all. I really want to get Ron's perspective, though, when Android 12 was finally live. Like, I want us to just. Ron, you should have the floor and come at us with all of your just feelings and first reaction, like a reaction video.
Sure, yeah, we'll totally do that. Totally.
Yeah, because I think that is that's going to be the real way to discern the impact of this version, not by what Jason and I are, digging into.
Right.
At the same time, I'm watching this Material You journey. Because again, those press renders promised me something.
Oh yeah,
beta,
and I want that vision.
They'll either get there or they'll give you a fence that you can't remove from photos.
By the way,
one or the other.
Can I share slightly, very quickly, and I'm slightly also shilling my other podcast, Material Podcast,
yes,
but
please.
Andy Anatko, my co-host, found out that there some kids at, I forgot which prestigious university, but they figured out that you can do the fence removal, but in video. It's a lot easier to do it in video because there's more information for the algorithm to collect.
Oh, interesting.
We talked about it on
frame
last
after
week's
frame
show,
after frame
so.
after frame. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Has more frames to pick from, so they were able to like do it with video first.
Ah, very interesting. Is that the last episode, the most recent episode of Material?
Yes, if you'd like to go, even just look at the show notes, I'd appreciate it. It's in there from last week.
All you got to do is go to relay.fm/material.
/material. Yes. Anyway, shill ended.
I do before we move on. I do find it interesting that friend of the show, Dave Burke, posted on Twitter that, and Jason, apologize if you said this already. I don't think you did though.
I didn't.
But and actually, Burke, this is the last link, and before we move on, Dave Burke, friend of the show, Dave Burke, said that Android 12's beta is by far our most downloaded / installed beta ever.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which,
I think
beta
that's
2 is available today. So
he does have the best name.
Yes, it is a good name, Burke. Friends of the Burke. But what does it say about the world that this is the most downloaded beta of any Android version? Like Jason, like you said, they're making it this, kind of community experience that it seems like they don't reveal numbers, but if it's the most downloaded, then that's clearly more than previously. So more people are getting aware of this. And I don't know. I think it's interesting that more people are getting on board to the beta track.
Totally agree. I think it's telling of what we have come to learn that this version of Android is promising, which it's promising in many ways, kind of a facelift, like a revisited design approach. Also, the permissions stuff is pretty on point and current. But I think we've just been living with the same Android for so long that I can only speak for myself, but I'm excited about the idea of like a new kind of vision or a new take on Android. That's not just yet another version that looks very much the same as the previous one, but with a couple of features that are maybe not very marquee at all. And there's at least something here to be excited about or get enraged about. I don't know. Either way, you're interested in seeing where it's going.
That's what's great. The polarizing change, you either love it or hate it. You're either pissed or elated. That's the way it should go. This middle of the road, make everybody kind of happy is boring. So
yeah.
Good for them.
Indeed.
Good job, friend of the show, Dave Burke.
Good job indeed. All right. So that's Android 12 Beta 2. If you have thoughts on this, send us an email, AAA@twit.tv. Let us know what you think. Maybe you have never installed a beta version of Android before, but you did this time. We'd love to know about that because that's exactly what Dave Burke was talking about. All right. And we are going to check out it's a double dose of app news actually this week. So we're going to look at that next.
It's a little early in the show for our chill hop introduction to the app segment, but
wow.
Honestly, by the way, what I listen to all day. It's good writing music. So anyway, we actually got a pretty big update rolling out this week. If you've got a Google account, now this kind of strays a little bit away from Android, but it is Google related and it will affect you. It'll affect you primarily on the desktop, but I'll tell you in a second how this is going to affect your messaging on Android. So Google Workspace apps, they are now available for everyone with a Google account. This includes Google Docs, Google Docs, Gmail, I have to recall it in my mind. And the last one is Google Chat. So that's the big one that is coming through. You can finally replace Hangouts as the default chat app within Gmail. You can go in, if you go to my article Gizmodo, I walk you through how to do that. It's very easy once you find the settings, which we know are still buried deep, deep, deep in the masses of the Gmail menu structure. And then once you set Meets, yes, the setting is under Chats and Meets. And once you set it as Google Chat, you're going to get that new interface pop up. Now, Google Chat is going to give you access to rooms. And when you create a room, which is essentially a group chat, that then unlocks Spaces, which is part of the new initiative that Google showed off at Google I/O, kind of like new collaboration tools where you can go in and like have a spreadsheet together and add tasks and look at a calendar, and then everybody leaves each other a little message. So now if you want to do it with a family or a bunch of friends, so you want to plan a barbecue for 4th of July and you need to figure out like, ingredients and who should bring what, now you can do that through Google Chat. You just have to go and set that as your default. Google Chat is also on Android, just as it is on the desktop. It's a new experience. And if you're wondering if this is it for Google's messaging strategy, the answer to that is we have no idea, because this announcement was buried inside of a blog post announcing workspace apps. So
who the heck knows?
We don't know.
I had been using some of these features in my Gmail account for work. So I'd kind of been getting used to the kind of Meet and Chat interface. Although I never used Google Chat for any of my work communications, so it went largely unused. But now that it's over in my personal, I activated it and I have the new UI. I wish I could show it off without showing everybody all of my emails, so I'm not going to. But up in the top right-hand corner next to my search bar, I have a little status area that's really easy for me to switch from active to do not disturb to whatever. That ties into my chat, so that's nice, I suppose, so that people don't, message me when I'm busy. So far, it looks good. But I do find myself a little tenuous for some reason about turning off Hangouts and like updating my wife's messaging from Hangouts, which is still what we use to this day to message each other. I'd say about half the time we're using Hangouts just because she got so used to it years ago. And, she definitely likes to stick with what works, and that works for us. But now I'm kind of in the point where it's like, oh, well, maybe now make sure that she's moved over in Gmail, install the app on her phone, and then cross fingers that we don't end up in some, wormhole where it's like, well, why don't we just move back to Hangouts?
Here's the thing that will happen is when you do a Google Chat feature, because I've been using it for a couple months now. Like you, Jason, I use Hangouts with my husband. And I also have a couple of friends on there that they know that's an easy line to me. So we got into the habit of using Hangouts. I'm trying to get everybody to the Google Chat, but the app is really slow on desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is I have a really long chat history with my husband. And so it takes a while for all that to load, which makes me feel like I'm missing out on some of the features that I would like to use, but I default to Hangouts because it loads faster. So when you do a chats feature in Hangouts, it'll say download and install Google Chat to get this like Prime feature or whatever, because it's not supported by Hangouts. So people will gradually be, shifting over to that, I think, per like Google's own onboarding, like, hey, it's time for you to go download this for more information. So I think that's how they're going to slowly transition everyone. But there's no blog post about it.
Which is weird because normally there is, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I thought that was odd too. Yeah.
Huh.
It was
That
just
is
like
weird.
buried in this blog post and everybody's kind of confused.
Huh. Yeah, that is strange. Lee Woods in our Discord, in the Club Twit Discord, said, and I had thought about this for a while because Hangouts used to kind of do this, and now I kind of wish it did. He or she says, I wish Google would just give the option for users to use Google Messages SMS/RCS as fallback in Google Chat. And now that you mentioned it, Lee, I kind of wish that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that was the case too. It's just kind of a bummer that it doesn't. Maybe someday, I don't know. There you go. There's something about the Google Chat, like the the actual chat interface that's not embedded in Gmail that I don't care for. I don't know. I'm looking at it right now, and it's very, very stark.
Listen, my computer's old. It's 6-7 years old now. I really need to upgrade it, but this chip and GPU shortage has been awful for building a new computer. So until then, I'm testing apps the way that most of the population of people are using it, not just our like tech, whatever. We're used to like using this stuff, or we have machines that can maybe handle this. And if it's loading this slow, this is not something somebody's going to want to use.
Yeah.
You know what's faster than Google Chat? WhatsApp on the web.
So good. I love WhatsApp on the web.
Immediately,
that is
just like loads.
That has been the game changer.
All the messages.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So
but
good.
WhatsApp on the web requires a connection to your phone in order to do it. That's different with Google Chat. With Google Chat, it's all in the cloud, right? Like you don't have to sync it.
Well,
what's
interesting though is that once you actually, because this happened to me just this past weekend, once you scan the QR code and sync your phone to WhatsApp on the web, all your phone needs to be connected. So the other day when my phone was in the car playing YouTube music for the kids so they could hear their Disney songs while they drove around, and I ran into the house and my wife took the car and took the kids to her parents' house, I did not have my phone on me, but I was able to text her via WhatsApp on the desktop to let her know that she has my phone.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Because you did it from a trusted device, which WhatsApp established.
Yeah.
Right.
This saga is never ending, y'all. Like we're
never
just
ending.
never.
I don't think we could handle it if Google solved this saga. I don't think
like
we'd know what to do with ourselves.
When a boyfriend, eventually decides he wants to be with you. Well, what the heck am I supposed to do now? Like, does this mean we start our life together?
Is gone. There's no more pursuit. What are you left with?
What are you left with? I'll tell you what you're left with. You're left with YouTube TV. That's what you're left with.
That's a good transition.
YouTube TV users, you might want to look out because there's a couple of compelling offers coming your way. And we'll talk about maybe the motivation in a second. But so some users of YouTube TV have been getting an email to receive a free TiVo Stream 4K device, which is interesting. Okay. This is in advance of YouTube TiVo. What did I say?
Yeah, no, I know. TiVo. I'm just saying TiVo. It's 2021.
Yeah. You're right. It's a TiVo Stream 4K device. This is actually in advance of YouTube TV even supporting 4K streaming, as Google says 4K is quote unquote coming soon. And then the plot thickens on this, where some YouTube TV subscribers didn't get the offer for the TiVo device, but rather getting the same email, but with an offer for a free Chromecast with Google TV. So it's a neat offer for YouTube TV subscribers to start getting ready for 4K and that sort of thing. Unknown as to why it's TiVo. A lot of bloggers you might have read around this and stuff like that connected this to the ongoing YouTube Roku feud, which is going on, where Roku blocked the YouTube TV app. They couldn't negotiate a deal. YouTube put YouTube TV functionality in the Roku YouTube app, which hasn't been removed yet. Google's mad at Roku. So some people are jumping to the conclusion that then Google went to TiVo and was like, hey, we'll give our users your 4K device to piss off Roku. I don't think that this is a spite play. I think that this is the kind of thing.
Really?
I really.
But it's
I don't
so
think
much more fun at a spite play.
It is way much more fun that way. But I think what happened here is that TiVo, as Flo, you mentioned, it's 2021, and TiVo is trying to reestablish themselves and get into this dongle market. And they probably paid Google and gave them a bunch of inventory to share with YouTube TV members, and it happens to be happening at the same time as the Roku issue. That's my take on it. So.
Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the Roku issue in Google's eyes, but maybe this is TiVo going, there's an opportunity here. The thing with Roku is not going well. So here you go. Yeah, it's weird to me, though, that Google is giving away both. Like, I would just think that Google would lean into its own product. But
unless TiVo wrote a check.
I suppose so. Yeah.
That's what happens. I mean, the same way that there's a Netflix button on the Chromecast by Google. That's because Netflix paid for that.
But
true.
Okay. okay, the Netflix on the Chromecast, you said they paid for it. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, it also isn't past Google to just say, we can just put the assistant on it. Of course, please.
Potentially, it could be a corporate partnership type thing. Yeah, there's any numerous reasons why Google and YouTube are going to work with a company like TiVo or like Netflix or like Disney Plus or like Roku. You know, Roku could solve all their problems by not having an issue with the YouTube TV app and writing a check or offering up inventory. Like, that's how business works. So,
totally not related to much of anything other than TiVo as a brand. But I was watching, can't even remember what I was watching, but it was a show from like the early 2000s, and it was a show where like it was so obviously firmly implanted in the TiVo era because all the characters were like getting home and sitting on their couch, you know, all the sounds and everything. It was a blast from the past to go back to what used to be.
Like, it was certainly my obsession. Like the status quo, like the standard TV setup was a TiVo. That was the cool thing to have.
Yeah.
That weird shape remote and all the beeps and the bloops and
a
stuff
hard
like
drive that could sometimes fail on you and that you would have to replace. But before you could replace it, you had to duplicate the drive that was on the TiVo already to get that data over.
Yeah. Don't want to miss out on your shows.
Yeah.
All that,
Listen,
all that
I'll take my
show.
cloud. Give me the cloud. I'm sorry to the desert, but give me the cloud.
Listen, I still have a TiVo like version 1 in my parents' basement that I was going to swap the hard drive out and never got around to do.
Oh, what's locked away on that hard drive?
You should go see what's on there and do
exactly.
you could do a whole TikTok series. Ron's tapes.
Totally.
Nope.
Ron's TiVo.
Yeah, Ron's TiVo tapes.
You lost me at TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's a great way. It's a great way to make content. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
You'll become a TiVo influencer.
Right. I'm going to be a TiVo influencer. I really think there's something to this,
You'd be surprised. Just all you need to do is post 3 times a day to get the algorithm to pick you up.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, people are making videos on YouTube about mini discs, so come on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Burke is right. Like, that's actually, speaking of Andy again, Andy and I really like that kind of content on YouTube. We like to do the old tech YouTube.
Nostalgia
is good.
It's a powerful force. I totally am guilty of that as well. Yeah. Totally agree. Google Messages now go away. Google Messages now getting a wide rollout of its encrypted communications feature. This is something that Google announced first last November. It was limited to the beta channel. Now it's bringing on a wide rollout end-to-end encryption via RCS, via chat. So you have to be doing RCS. Obviously, it only works if both parties are actually running the chat features and have their data and their Wi-Fi or their Wi-Fi enabled in order for that the feature set to work. It doesn't like magically transform, SMS and MMS into an encrypted communications setup. But if you have it set up and you're talking with someone whose app also supports it, you'll see a little lock inside of your message window that tells you that it is encrypted. And one question that I have about this, I was trying to do some searching to see if it's possible. What does this mean about backup of those messages? Backup of RCS is already hard. I hear from people every once in a while in the All About Android email where they're trying to restore all of their messages and the RCS chat ones don't restore. And SMS, backup and restore doesn't do it. Although I see some people online saying that it does, but I'm pretty certain it doesn't. And so, how do you get those RCS chat messages backed up? And especially if they're fully encrypted end to end, is that even a possibility? I don't know the answer to that. If anyone does, let me know. But another speed bump there, I suppose.
Another speed bump.
At this point, I'm surprised that after the number of people, and maybe the population of people who want to do this is smaller than I think, but with the number of SMS backup apps that are out there and the number of people that want to do that, how come Google has not already implemented this themselves within the app? The
backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, does that, because Google is trying to like companies like Apple and other companies are doing right now. They're trying to distance themselves from the content of the communications. That's part of the reason, for the encrypted communication is it really removes them from being a responsible party. If there's backup happening, does that bring them closer to that data? And if so, maybe that's the reason that they don't explicitly offer it. It's like, well, we don't even want that on our servers, as a backup option. So we're not going to offer it. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yep.
But it's a bummer because there are a lot of people communicating that would want to back it up. Although WhatsApp is an encrypted platform. And when I set up a new phone with WhatsApp, it restores.
Because they have a backup function within the app.
Because they offer it. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, every night at 3 a.m., WhatsApp backs itself up. I told it to. I connected it to my Google Drive, and it's backing itself up every night.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. And WhatsApp. Aren't you just so superior, WhatsApp? Jeez.
Well, that's why Facebook bought them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of superiority, we should talk about the blobs. We should talk about the blobs.
They are superior.
The blobs, they're so superior. They've got almost deity-like status. Gboard's Emoji Kitchen is getting a library update, and it's bringing back some of the blob aesthetic. Now, if you want to mix in some emoji, send maybe a cute little sticker instead of the typical usual Unicode emojis that are included in the keyboard app, you could send a little blob. Gboard's also getting a feature to recognize and recommend stickers based on the conversation context, which is going to be a lot more helpful when it comes to finding the Emoji Kitchen stickers. And all of this is server side, so you don't have to worry about updating anything. It's gonna, you do have to worry about it, but you don't have to worry about manually pushing the update.
We'll worry about a lot of things, but we will not worry about the blob update coming to Emoji Kitchen.
No, because remember, everyone, we are all blobs children.
The
Bert,
long
this is
national
when you show
nightmare
the
is
link
over.
that I put in there, which was posted by Jennifer Daniel, who is on Emoji Chair.
There it is.
Yes,
there it
at the
is.
very
Aren't we happy
bottom,
we
we're
waited
all
for
blobs
that?
children. I just thought it was.
Is it
going.
so? Are you happy to have your blobs back in the sticker form? Is this something you're going to use?
Well, I will say I use these all the time, so you'll probably see them come up. I can use them on Instagram, which is great. So when I post an Instagram story, I use the Emoji Kitchen. I love Emoji Kitchen. It's super fun.
You know what?
And if you follow Jennifer Daniel, since she is the one who helps, program these things, I'm assuming, she will usually post formulas so you can kind of figure out what you have to type in to get some of the different stickers. But the fun of Emoji Kitchen is just typing in and trying to come up with a sticker that matches the conversation situation. So.
Oh, okay. I had never heard of Emoji Kitchen before this story.
So if you type in, so here's the deal. Let me tell you really quickly if you're going to try it on your own. When you go into Gboard and you're looking for an emoji, it's not going to come up. So when you go into the emoji search and you're searching thinking face, right? Mm-hmm. Type in the thinking face. Where Emoji Kitchen works best is with the recently typed emoji. So it takes a little bit of work to get used to how to bring them up because they're two separate features, if that makes sense. The emoji search and the Emoji Kitchen. So when you do Emoji Kitchen, just go into the direct emoji menu and type in one or two emoji to see what comes up. And that's how it works. Don't search for a specific emoji.
Does
that make sense?
Don't search for a specific emoji.
Yeah, don't search for it, but try, Jason, if you just go into the recently used emoji and hit one or two, you'll start to see formulas come up.
Okay, so I think I'm in Gboard anyway. So there's my keyboard. So I'm going into the emoji area, right?
Nope, that's not emoji. That's stickers.
Oh, that's stickers.
Yes,
emoji
a
area.
little smiley face.
Down there.
And now go up. Yep, there you go. And type in that smiley face and that heart.
Smiley.
No, don't search. This is what you should not do. Do not search because it won't come up.
I feel so old right now. Okay. We can do this. Together we can do this. Okay. So in my doc, I'm actually typing smiley face.
In your recently used.
Smiley. No. Okay. So I've got no.
No. Go back to the emoji window.
Okay.
This is fantastic.
Now, Jason, I want you to tap on the first emoji and the second one on that screen, and then see what comes up.
Okay.
There you go. Now tap the next one.
Okay. They're
anything
entering.
Coming up?
Nothing. Should I be seeing something different than that?
Are you using Gboard?
Yeah, I mean Gboard is the default, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the default keyboard.
You know what? Okay. It doesn't work in Google Keep. You need to go into a messaging app to get it to work.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's so ridiculous. But look, I'm going to do it for you right now. I don't mean ridiculous in a bad way.
I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. It should have worked.
Why wouldn't it work?
Why doesn't it work?
What the hell?
Okay. Here, I'll show you on my screen very badly. But
wait, keep going. Back up.
Back up. Hard to do.
The focus won't. You're too close. Back up. No, the other way. Flow. There you go. Now go.
I see it. I can show it off now. I get it. I understand. Okay.
Do it in Hangouts. It will work. You can't. Yeah. It only works in like a messaging app that accepts these kind of stickers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I did the smiley, the eyes closed smiley face and the heart, and then it pulled up these as options. Is that it?
Yes.
And if I do that,
do the magic wand and the bat.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, there we go. And now you know what I'm making for dinner on Thursday and Friday. There you go. Don't tell anyone I'm making halibut tacos on Thursday and I'm making grilled chicken thighs on Friday. Stop it. We can't talk about food.
It's dinner time. We're not talking about food on this show right now. We're not doing it.
All right, fine. Wow, we are all over the map tonight. All right, let's. I'm just going to tell you there is so much more in the realm. I know of
there's
apps
more.
To talk about.
Sorry we did that, but now you know how to do Emoji Kitchen.
There we go. I'm not sorry we did that. I learned something. I didn't know you could do that until now, and now I do. So we're all good. All right, more app news coming up. All right, Ron, you have our 4th of 6 app stories.
So much app news, and as you all know, I've been waiting for AR to get its killer app and to find its place in the world. We know the technology is so cool. This does not bode well for AR. Google is killing Measure. It's the long-standing AR app for measuring real-world objects and distances.
Last holdout.
Yep. It began on Project Tango in 2016 and then made the jump to ARCore in 2018. And listen, if a Google-backed measuring app can't make it work, what hope does anyone else have with AR?
I mean, isn't that kind of like the measuring, using AR to measure things? I feel like that was one of the early examples of proving AR's utility.
I need to interject. I've been totally following these measuring apps from day one, and they never finished it to where it was even halfway decent.
So it was never usable.
Well, it was kind of usable, but it was just barely a demo. It wasn't really functional. You could only measure floor to ceiling. You couldn't measure, horizontally. It was things like that.
So is this kind of hyperbole, Burke? You think in the reaction to the death knell of AR if Google's killing this, or
I've just been waiting for them to finish this, or somebody to okay. Now it's if they're killing the API, because it's pretty much the API then, right? If they're killing their own measuring app before it's really useful, then
No, I mean, I don't know if it's killing the API. It's just killing this execution, right? I mean, it does leave a question of what the future of ARCore is, but because there's still, aside from Google Lens and Google Maps and the things like that are put in, there is no killer AR app out there at all. Other than making little things dance in Google Photos, right? No one, it doesn't exist, and so it's frustrating.
But I don't think this kills the. I don't think this is a death knell on AR core. So.
Or doing a Google search for a breed of dog, and then being able to place that dog on your living room floor with a camera. All of these things that are so incredibly useful in our daily lives that we can't live without them.
Well, wait a second. Just actually measuring real things is a little bit more useful.
I totally agree. I absolutely agree. I said that completely in jest. I think it's interesting that the tool that on its surface, but I mean, you're talking about. You've been in a situation, sounds like, Burke, where you have actually had reason to use this to measure things. I can't really think of many times where I've needed to use this to measure things. And to be quite honest, when I have used it, I always have a little doubt. I'm always like, that's probably close,
like for the
but it's not quite there.
No, believe me, it's a stretch to say I had a use case for it, but I was looking for those cases.
Yeah, you were looking for it. Right.
And then, Apple does it, and it's like, it's super crazy accurate, up to like.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's,
Go Apple then.
This was the killer app as far as I was concerned, Ron.
Yeah, I agree. And that's just, it's not happening. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Frustrating.
Well, there's more in the world of AR, Flo, and you got it.
Yes, there is more in the world of AR, and I'm probably not going to play it because I'm not particularly interested in this franchise, but somebody might be. I am talking about Niantic, the makers behind Pokémon Go, and before that, Ingress. They're actually working on a new AR type of game called Transformers Heavy Metal. This is also going to be a location-based AR game. It's going to launch globally this year. It's going to have a soft launch in select countries soon. And basically, it's Pokemon Go with robots. So if that's your thing, because you didn't want to deal with pocket monsters, then what you can do is we can go for a walk. I will catch Pokemon at the same stop. And you will catch, I'm assuming, Transformers that transform into things.
So like same game, just with robots.
Well, isn't that what Niantic does?
Yeah, I mean, totally.
They have,
yeah.
Their thing was the grid, and now it's just up to everybody else to give them the assets and like the structure of the gameplay.
So what is the IP execution that drives using the grid? That's basically it. Yeah,
exactly.
They certainly found a niche that works for them. Yeah.
And listen, guys, I even posted an Instagram story today about how I am always trying to take over the Pizza Pirate gym. So on Pokemon Go, that is.
Aren't we all?
It's an easy thing to do in between errands and stuff.
I have no idea what you just said. I don't understand. The pizza gem. It just makes me hungry.
Don't worry. It's Pokemon lore. People get it who know Pokemon. Don't worry.
I mean, I don't understand Emoji Kitchen. I don't understand Pokemon. This is the episode where I realize I am really
you know what,
old.
Jason? I don't understand any of your guitar pedals. I don't know like what or effects or whatever that stuff is. Like I don't know what they do to your guitar.
Fair enough.
I know, Jason.
But you know something about them that I certainly don't. So
fair enough. We all know things, I suppose. That's true. What do y'all think about spatial audio? Is that anything that's interesting to anyone here?
Such a hot topic this week.
Yeah, it really is. Seems like everybody's talking about spatial audio, and especially because Apple is talking about it. There's been a lot of Apple news last week. One thing that is happening right now is that Apple Music has rolled out compatibility for lossless audio and also spatial audio support. And this has to do with Android because they are pushing this update to the Android app. So if you want to experience either of these, I believe, I know definitely the spatial audio aspect, you need to be on the beta channel for the Android app. So go to the Play Store, sign up for the beta channel, and you'll have the ability to check it out. I think for free. I don't think there's any extra fee for any of the and that's kind of one of the things that's getting the headlines is that Apple is rolling out lossless audio for no extra charge. And meanwhile, a service like Tidal has basically built their service around lossless audio, and Apple's just like, here you go. But anyways, thousands of tracks in Dolby Atmos available at launch, says Apple. And just as a reminder, because I've seen phones, I've reviewed phones that have Atmos support, but I've always just kind of written it off because I'm like, yeah, what is Atmos on a tiny little, smartphone? What does it matter? So if you are curious what phones could actually tap into this spatial audio stuff, just a couple that I've found looking around: Samsung's Galaxy S and Note 9, 10, 20, and 21, the Pixel 4 XL, the Pixel 5, the OnePlus 7 Pro, 8 Pro, the T series. Just to name a few. And I don't know, the spatial audio stuff, especially for music, really feels like it's kind of a gimmicky sort of thing, but then I haven't experienced it. So I don't know, maybe it's actually really cool. Are you interested, Ron? Is this something that appeals to you at all?
Not yes, I'm curious about it. I'm less interested in lossless because I don't think my hearing is good enough to pick it up.
Yeah.
But the spatial audio I definitely think is interesting because I think that if it is, based on the execution, I think it could be really, really compelling. So I don't know. I'm curious. Color me curious. How about that?
You're spatial audio curious. What about you, Flo?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if my Sony's what
Sony's
they
have to support
have.
it. I have to imagine.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not talking about a Sony smartphone. You're talking about the earbuds, right?
I'm talking about the cans.
The cans. Okay.
The cans.
The cans.
So they do. Come on, webcam. What are you doing?
It's putting Vaseline on the screen.
It's ruining the audio listener's experience. That's what it's doing.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Gosh. All right.
Okay.
I was going to say. The thing about these Sony headphones that I've got is that they have this 3D sort of spatial audio feature that you can enable. And what it does is it uses infrared to scan the inside of your ear to see where all the acoustics, where they would hit in the inside of your, ear canal there. I haven't quite tried it, but I've sort of tried it, but not listened to it specifically. And I will say that it has contributed to my not hearing people at the door in my room.
Oh, okay.
So that is to say, I'm very interested in this idea of listening to music in this way. I don't really think I feel like this would be the equivalent of plugging into a record player and just laying on a beanbag and just letting the music flush over you.
Yeah. Burke points out, and actually, I think in chat I saw this roll by as well, that there's only two speakers. When you're listening to headphones, it's two. And when I think of Atmos, I think of all of these different speakers all around. That's kind of the point. So it's a simulation of sorts. I just wonder how good of a simulation it is. Also, there's a component of spatial audio that is to say that if I'm looking this way and the audio is coming from here, then when I turn my ear this way, the audio isn't going to follow me. It's going to stay there. So I'll hear it more in this ear versus, depending on where you're looking. So that's another component of spatial audio. I don't know. It sounds very gimmicky to me. And I guess I'm curious now because it seems like more of these services are kind of leaning into it a little bit. I just don't I don't see this as being the sort of thing that is going to revolutionize the audio industry. It just kind of seems like, okay, yeah, that's neat, like a curiosity more than anything. But I have to check it out. Maybe I'll be convinced otherwise once I do. Who knows? Maybe Apple Music is my music service. Maybe it's not YouTube Music.
Maybe it is. Maybe I need to... what a weird turn of events that would be if that was the case.
Yeah,
that'd be fascinating.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Coming up, you wrote us some emails, and so we're going to read them. AAA@twit.tv, 347-SHOW-AAA if you want to leave us a voicemail. And I will take the first one here. Derek from Toronto says, you talked a lot about the Pixel drop and this latest episode of All About Android. And I was wondering if you had heard anything about the locked folder not appearing. I have the rest of the features from the Pixel Drop, including astrophotography, the wallpapers, and the sounds, but for some reason, locked folder is not there. I did a search online, couldn't really find anything about it, and then I contacted Google Pixel support, which is always an experience, and usually an unpleasant one because they don't really seem to know much about their phones. And surprise, surprise, nobody knew anything about it. They took me through the standard troubleshooting steps, and still nothing. The folder is not there. Have you seen any reports on this? I haven't seen reports about it not showing up necessarily, but I did jump into my Google Photos app, and here's what I can show you about locked folder. So I'll just show you me using it, and maybe you're getting to it wrong, or maybe it suddenly starts working for you. So first of all, I want to send a photo to my locked folder. I'm going to go ahead and tap and hold that, do the overflow menu here, move to locked folder is an option. I'll go ahead and do this. It'll warn me that when I do this, it's not going to be backed up to the cloud. We talked about that last week. It also won't be able to be shared. It's going to be in a enclosed and secure folder. That's why it's called locked folder. So I'm moving that image of my dog laying out in the grass to the locked folder. What's funny is that image. Okay, there we go. I was going to say it's still in my camera roll. All right, so now I've sent it to the locked folder. Where is the locked folder? Library. Utilities, and locked folder is down here in organize your library. If I go there, hold on. I had to authorize my face. Okay, so there's my photo, the one that I just moved to the locked folder. I have access to it. Like I said, I can't share it out of here, but I can move it out of here. And I think this is a little different than what we were talking about last week. It doesn't mean that this photo is in here forever going forward. I can move it out of here. I can move it back to my regular camera roll. And from there, then it's not in the secure folder anymore. And it exists on my basic camera roll. It's backed up to the cloud as everything else is in that realm. And I can share it and do everything. Of course, I'm running beta software. Sometimes things take a while. That's what you're seeing here. So locked folder, there's nothing more in here. If I go back out to my regular photo roll, and there it is. There's Sugar laying in the shade. So there you go. That's locked folder. I don't know why it's not showing up on your photos. Maybe it hasn't, that particular feature hasn't pushed out yet. I hadn't seen it last time I checked like a week ago. It's there now. So check again. Or maybe you were just looking in the wrong place for it. So hopefully that walkthrough was beneficial to you.
This person's in Canada too, so I'm wondering if it was pushed. Yeah, to their.
Yeah, that could be it.
I think it might be US and a couple of rollout is not in. It's not an international rollout.
Yeah, I mean, often these things, especially with server-side rollout, they take a few days to happen. And so if you haven't checked in the last couple of days, I can't even remember when this email came through. This email could be 6 days old, and Derek, you may have found it by now. But anyways, that's a walkthrough for the feature for anyone else who's interested also. So hopefully that's helpful. Thank you, Derek. All right, Ron, you got the next one.
I do have the next one, and this comes in, and it's about one of our favorite topics, earbuds. Comes in from Irfan Ali, who says, after watching the latest episode, I would like to give you my thoughts on earbuds. I've never really bought any of the branded versions, even when I had the Pixel 2 XL. Instead, I opt for getting the TWS truly wireless variants that can be found on Amazon. Not because I'm trying to save money, more about getting the best bang for my buck. My current set are the Sapphire E18 Plus Bluetooth headphones we got with aptX stereo sound, CVC 8.0 noise cancellation, 8 hours of playtime, IPX7 waterproof wireless charging case, and they cost me about 35 British pounds, but I've had them for over 2 years. Yes, they've been dropped numerous times from various heights, been submerged, as well as going through the fast wash cycle, and they still work as expected. I found an excellent site for comparisons, which everyone can use to make sure you get the best ones for your budget. And that's at scarbir.com, SCARBIR.com. And that's a great resource for looking into wireless headphones and comparing and contrasting. There's so many options. There's so many ones out there. Seems like there's just an explosion of companies doing earbuds and things like that. So this is a great site to look at those reviews. And they've got a really cool leaderboard that you can check out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Their leaderboard for best cheap wireless earbuds true wireless earphones from $25 to $100, which is pretty cool. So yeah, check it out. Thank you, Irfan, for your kind of weighing in on it and telling us about the Ensifier E18 ones. But yeah, there you go. To get the most bang for your buck. I think that's a responsible consumer. So good job.
Indeed. That's a great site, by the way.
It really is.
It's run by a single person, as far as I can tell, who is just fascinated by the overwhelming number of these true wireless earbuds, and so reviews them all basically. So if you're actually looking, because I've had experiences with true wireless earbuds that are definitely on the low end, the $20, $30 ones, and the trade-offs that you get in that realm. But I mean, if this one site is cataloging like all of the options out there, you're almost guaranteed to find some in that price category that don't totally suck, that are actually pretty good. And so you've got a resource to do that, Scarbur.com.
I just got excited because I saw on Scarbur.com a review of the Phil CC2, F-I-I-L CC2, which looks like they're wireless earbuds that aren't in-ear, that are like half in-ear wireless earbuds. I was like, ooh, this is interesting.
Okay.
But they're only for sale on AliExpress. So, and
you can buy from AliExpress.
I
Just
could.
talk to
Yeah,
Flo.
I certainly have.
I know Flo has. I don't know, but ship in 24 hour. That's what it says. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll get it in 24 hour.
True.
It says right there, you're going to get it in 24 hour. Okay. All right.
It'll ship in 24 hours. It'll arrive in 3 weeks. Once it goes to customs, where it will be stuck for 15 days.
And then it's on the slow boat.
Totally. Yeah, it might take a little while. That is true. Flo, you got the honors.
I've got the honors. You know what I've got the honors of doing today? I've got the honors of reading the email of the week. That's right. Reading their email of the week. Today's email is from Carla with a K. And Carla writes in, hello, I'm from small town USA, and we do love Walmart. I must confess that I absolutely love the on-brand TWS, that's True Wireless, earbuds. I own AirPods, AirPods Pro, Galaxy Buds, and Galaxy Buds Pro. I would rank the on earbuds higher than the Galaxy Buds Pro. They have good sound quality for music and voice, when I'm listening to AAA, of course, and good Bluetooth range. This is an excellent Walmart product.
Wow. This is like a double whammy because it's about
a picture.
That's fantastic. The picture is great. This email is both about earbuds but also about Ananana, which and it's from a proud Anana customer, which is great. So
let me tell you guys, I have got some good news. I am getting some Ananana products in for review at Gizmodo.com.
No, Flo, I'm sorry. I don't
really?
mean to correct you. You're getting some Ananana products in Anana.
Yeah, in. Yes, you're right. I didn't pronounce that right. I'm getting some Ananana products in. For review on
What are you getting?
Gizmodo.com.
What are you getting?
I mean, hopefully I'm getting them in. I am getting the new Chromecast dupes.
Okay.
Is it a smartwatch?
Yeah.
Well. Apparently, it's a Chromecast dupe. Cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear.
Oh God, I hope I didn't say something I wasn't supposed to. They announced it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
there
we
was
talked
an
about it. We
official
talked on the
announcement.
show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, guys, I deal with a lot of embargoes. You gotta.
Yeah, I know.
You got to be careful what you know
me.
and what you don't know.
I start to freak out immediately. No, so I'm going to drop it very quickly in the chat just to show Burke what I'm talking about on Walmart. It is a Chromecast dupe. So it'll be very interesting to see if the dupe is real.
Okay, so it's the lesser expensive of the two that we were talking about. The $25 just like single HDMI plug-in device. They also have a $30 UHD kind of streaming device that they call it. It's more like a.
We'll see what comes in, but just stay tuned because this is, okay, I want to go back to thank you, Carla, for sending that in. It's very important that you let us know if you're using these products. Exactly. I forgot to cue it. I'm sorry about that. For the fan service, I ruined it. But it is important for us to be looking at this brand because Walmart is making a direct play for Amazon with all of these little, new products that they're getting into. And so it's time to see, are they worth the money? So
we'll find out.
Someone's got to do it. And I think you're the woman for the job, Flo. It's great.
So, I'm here. And all that said, thank you, Carla, so much for writing in this week's email of the week and for sending the lovely photo.
I should say super timely. Before we read the email, cousin of Ja in the chat said, I got a name of cheap earbuds to try from Scarborough. Hope they're better than my on-ons. So somehow very prescient comment from cousin of Ja. Later said my on-ons were good to listen to, but the listening call volume was too low and chewing gum made the thing shut off. So annoying. That would be annoying. Yeah, don't chew gum and listen to your headphones at the same time. You might be annoyed like cousin of Ja. So everybody has a different opinion on best earphones. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
All
right. And we have reached the end of this episode of All About Android. We have talked today all about Android and so much more. With you, Flo. Well, with you, Ron. But we'll get to you in a second. Flo, what are you up to? What do you want people to know?
Well, I work for Gizmodo.com. So if you want to read what I'm up to over there, you can go to Gizmodo.com. I've also got an easy link that I pay for. So please check it out. flowrights.tech will take you to my author page at Gizmodo.com. That's where you can easily find all of the articles that I've written for the website. And if you, want more than that, you can go to FlorenceIon.com, find a link to my Discord, come join our community, and find links to where I am on social media.
.tech TLDs, or those are pricey, aren't they?
So I got it through the Twit introductory price through hover.com back when they were a sponsor. Yes. Yeah. And I decided that I would just keep paying for it as a luxury for myself to have that flowrights.tech because it's just,
Yeah. Well, it's become your URL.
I don't just attach anything to it, so why not?
Yeah, they're not that bad. I mean, I'm looking at on hover.com by tech domain by .tech, $7.99 a year. So that's not too bad.
What?
That's the introductory price. I think it's like $50 to renew, which isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, renewals and transfers are $49.99 a year. So
right.
It's not that bad. It's the cost of doing business. That's what they say.
Exactly. It's
that's true.
It's nice and convenient.
It was just top of mind for whatever reason. I remembered seeing that the other day. I was like, oh, that's not like a $4.99, URL. Cool stuff.
No,
Flowrights. It's totally unrelated to anything. It's
neither, by the way, is FlorenceIon.com, where the URL is cheap. But I'll tell you, the server space. Anyway, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, right. Flowrights.tech. Go there. All right. Ron, what about you? What do you want to talk about?
Now I'm like going neck deep in earbuds, and I'm looking at these Tautronic Sound Liberty 80s. Burke, I put the link in my plug thing because I'm looking for non-in-ear headphones, and I discovered these, which look to be they look like kind of like AirPods with a weird little purple blue hologrammy outside. Look at that. Isn't that weird? But they're not in ear, so I'm tempted by them. They're only $77. So
no, they're less than that. Save an extra $27 when you apply this coupon.
Oh yeah, what are the details?
$50.
Yeah,
$50.
Geez. That's crazy. So I might take a flyer on those. So
why not?
We'll see. Who knows?
Let us know how it goes.
in the meantime, follow me at RonXO on Twitter and Instagram, and maybe I'll post about these if I get them. So.
All right. Well, we'll see if you get them and let us know. Make sure and check the site and see if they're reviewed on there before pulling the trigger.
That's a good point. That's a good idea. Good idea. Yeah.
Big thanks to Burke at the studio for pushing buttons and for helping keep this show afloat during the hour and a half that we do it each and every week. And then also big thanks to Victor behind the scenes for publishing this show and helping us get this out to your ears and your eyes. And as for me, I'm just doing shows here on the network. I'm working on, like I said earlier, the Pixel Buds A series review. That's going to be on Hands on Tech next week. Tech News Weekly every Thursday. I don't know. That's really about it right now. I've got a few things in the works though. So stay tuned for that. Find me at Jason Howell on Twitter if you want to follow me there. Don't forget twit.tv/clubtwit. Club Twit is our ad-free subscription tier. All of our shows without ads. Also an exclusive Twit Plus podcast feed. We put tons of extra content in there. And then a members-only Discord that is just so much fun. $7 per month. twit.tv/clubtwit. And you can be part of the club. And we hope that you'll do that. But that is it for this week's episode of All About Android. We always appreciate you joining, watching, listening, however you choose to do it. But you can find all the ways to do it by going to twit.tv/AAA. Everything you need to know on how to subscribe and all of our episodes and everything about this show can be found there. That is it for this week's episode. We'll see you next time on All About Android. Bye, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Ant Pruitt, and I want to tell you about my show, Hands on Photography, here on Twit TV. Each and every week, Thursday that is, I like to sit down and share with you the best tips and tricks that are going to help make you a better photographer. And it's not always about Photoshop. It's not always about just having the biggest and baddest and bestest camera. It can be the simplest of things like leave your eye open when you're looking through the viewfinder. All of these simple tips can really help step your photography game up. So subscribe to the show today. That's twit.tv/hop. And I look forward to talking to you soon.